So when I come across news, you know, I like to
My name
share
is
it.
Yasmin Bello Asage, and I produce programs and online content.
Yeah, we don't want that. So this bit of news kind of struck my fancy. Donald Trump threatens 35% tariff for retribution for companies that move abroad. So essentially, the thought is, if a company tries to take their jobs from this country, he's going to threaten 35% tariff. We've had tariffs in the past. At one point, tariffs essentially paid for the government, essentially running the government. But the point of trade deals and stuff like that, we no longer necessarily have those. At least not in the United States. I don't necessarily think this is. I don't know enough about the deal to know whether it's a horrible idea or not, to be honest. I do think from a gut level that, look, if you're using our soil, if you're using the people to make your profits, if you're selling your product in this country and you're able to use this infrastructure, yeah, you should pay tax on it. I don't think that's crazy. And if you necessarily try to ship that job overseas, yeah, you should take a hit. People make this idea that corporations are somehow moral creatures. They're not. They're machines. Their job is to make profit. If they can make more money shipping your job overseas, you're out of a job. They're going to ship it overseas. It's just the way it is. But the part that actually really caught my interest, the United States is going to substantially reduce taxes, regulations to businesses, but any business that leaves this country for another country, fires its employees, builds a new factory or plant in another country, and then thinks it's going to sell back its products in the United States without retribution or consequences. Wrong. Trump tweeted. Aside from the ridiculousness of this coming in a tweet, actually, I even have the tweets because Donald Trump is on my tweet list. So this is absolutely absurd and ridiculous. But there's more. So there will be a tax on our soon-to-be strong borders of 35. Did you really have to say soon-to-be strong borders? That sounds absolutely ridiculous. They're going to be strong because he's going to quote-unquote build a wall. All right. The part of interest to me is the U.S. is going to substantially reduce taxes and regulations on businesses. Well, that's interesting. So how much tax do we tax businesses on now? So the tax rate right now is around 35%. But here's the catch. Many companies, particularly the big ones, don't pay that. So back in the 1950s, the share of tax paid by corporations was 33%. Today, it's around 10%. That's a big damn difference. And you got to keep in mind, they've made astronomical profits. So the majority of the profits, in fact, 90%, I think it was 90 or 95% of the profits made during Obama's term from 2008 to now, went to the top 1%. They are raking money hand over fist. And at the end of the day, rates or jobs, wages haven't increased. So that money essentially has to go somewhere, and it's essentially funneled all the way to the top. So in addition to that, the amount of tax they paid after making all those massive profits is dropped to 9%. Another part. How many companies paid no taxes? So billion-dollar companies that make massive amounts of money. 27 companies that paid no tax. So we have, let's see, Boeing. I think we have AT&T or GE in there. Carnival Cruise Lines. Essentially, there are a few. Level 3 Communications, United, Continental, I guess Airline, General Motors. Essentially, there's a few. I guess my point is, you could be a big man with the whole trade deal stuff, and you could threaten tariffs and everything else. But lowering the corporate tax rate, when you don't even get taxes from many of these companies making billions of dollars, does not seem to be your issue. lowering the tax rate only seems to really help these companies make more profits since they were already evading that tax rate. So it's a crazy idea. It's like, our problem. Yeah, taxes are too high. That's our problem. That's totally our problem. All right, Donald Trump. Yeah, good job. It seems like your job is going to be to essentially give corporations and the rich and people like you more money.